Hi, my name's Gary Noakes. I'm the Senior Partner at Fleet Investigations and I'm here doing one of our videos. The idea of these videos is not just a selling point for us, it's for you, the client, existing or potential. It helps you how you instruct us or another inquiry agent, and this one is on surveillance. Surveillance is a really complicated matter. I mean, people just think, I'm going to buy a video camera and I'm going to go and do it. It's not quite that simple. Various ways of doing surveillance and trackers, for example. The amount of private investigators I know put trackers under the car, and they're a little bit bigger than a BlackBerry and they're magnetic, and you put them underneath the car. Well, that's fine, and some barristers and solicitors will go, that's legal, and others go to you, well, it's not. But what's supposing if it's your husband or wife, or it's an insurance matter? You're a large insurance company, or solicitors, a well-known solicitors or lawyers, and you've hidden, or your agent has hidden one of these underneath a car, and the car gets a flat tyre, or the exhaust needs doing. They go for a service, and they go and quick fit, and they put it up on a ramp, and they find what looks like a bomb, for want of a better word, underneath it. It's outrageous. It's people start screaming, and if you've got an insurance company or a lawyer and you're investigating a potential a claim, a personal injury claim, next thing you're going to have is one for the anguish. The person can never drive again because they think there's a bomb underneath their car all the time, and all it is your inquiry agent put something like this under the car. We've all got them, maybe in our profession, but we always advise people to avoid them. Well, why do inquiry agents use trackers? Reason being, it's cost effective for them. If you're a busy firm of surveillance experts, and most surveillance firms and investigators are honest and the client comes first, however some aren't, and you've got 3 or 4 surveillance jobs in the same area, you'll put 3 or 4 of these underneath the cars. The first one to move, the 2 agents will shoot there, and they will get, to the detriment of the case, footage of the person. But there's always been an excuse why, well, we didn't get film of them leaving the property, or there's always another excuse. And again, if it's a matrimonial case, what happens if your partner finds out? They fall off sometimes. They do it. They shouldn't do, but they do. And also various legalities. If the car's not parked on the road, someone's committed trespass to put it under a car. So we always tend to say, unless there's no other way, don't use trackers. And if you're a law firm or an insurer, make sure that your agreements, your terms and conditions with your surveillance people have in it that they won't use one until they do this. Until they have your permission, and it works. It's the only way. But we've got hidden cameras. I mean, we all love the hidden cameras. We have a pen there. You can buy it from any of these gadget shops you get. The outlet centres like Blue Water, where we are. And that's quite good. You put it in your pocket, and you can film and record sound. They're very well, and they're relatively cheap. But surveillance, most of it's undertaken with a small camera like that. They're so easy to hold in your hand, nobody sees them, and truthfully, we've all got the gadgets. With this keyring, there's a camera just in there, but we don't tend to use them. And also films out the window now. We start things on these. This is a 16, we've got 32 and 64 gigabyte chips, and that works. Let's say trackers have got their use, but we would avoid them. We've got letters here from clients, basically thank you for a good job. But again, we get instructed all the time, and this is what you should be so careful. Imagine a story, right? We get instructed by a client, and this is a very, very well-known insurer that's on the TV all the time. Can you come and see us at our office? One of the other surveillance firms we've used have really messed up, and we want you to take the case over. So we went, yes, we go into the conference room and There's a few worried looks and a few sniggers, and it's a imagine a bird's eye view of this family having a picnic in their own back garden. It's lovely, you know, the birds are singing, the kids are running around playing football, and there's a camera, like a bird's eye view from the videoing all this. And I'm looking thinking, well, it's quite a good video because it caught the chap saying everything he said he couldn't do, but how on earth, where were they? And all of a sudden there's this cracking, snapping noise, and this inquiry agent, you have to laugh, fell out of the tree where the branch was snapped onto the grass, and the cameras, that's something from a film, you know, the cameras going all ways, children running and screaming, he fell on top of the mother. I mean, it's awful, truly dreadful. But you have to laugh. And then he's picked his camera up and run. You can see this camera bobbing up and down, like the view from the camera, bobbing up and down. And what he'd done, he'd climbed over the next door neighbour's fence, into their garden, up a tree in their garden, so all sorts of fences there, including trespass. And he has then climbed along a branch, you know, at a big tree, and filmed into their garden. Oh, it breaks so many laws and acts, it's untrue. So we get asked, well, can we film the guy again? So I went, well, yeah, no problem. But imagine trying to film someone when that's just happened. That's so suspicious. I mean, it's funny, but it's totally true. But the same client, on the same day, well, we've got another job we'd like to look at. The same firm have done for us. And this firm are going in slightly cheaper than everybody else and getting all the work. But their operatives and agents weren't up to scratch. Well, the next one, there's a film from the back of a van. And we have the voiceover. You have to bear in mind we have the voiceover on this. And this man comes along on crutches, walks up to the back of the van, bangs on the window, well, and uses a 4-letter word and tells them to go off, and makes the sign, the bird. And the voiceover on the camera, goes, might have been compromised. Well, might have been compromised. I mean, you know, let's say, we get cases like that on a very regular basis. So that's why you should always be very careful who you use. And there's always little tips. Tips are, if you're going to use an investigation for surveillance and you phone round and ask for 2 or 3, the ones that say to you, oh, we can do this job, but it'll be another 50, 200, however much money, doesn't matter if it's £5, because we've not got that equipment, so we'll have to buy it or hire it, don't use them. Because any surveillance company worth their salt will have every piece of equipment you could ever need. And if you didn't, you had to buy one for a specific job, we'd just use it on a further job. So why would you try and charge the client? It's like a plumber going, oh, I need a special spanner for this, that's another £45. You wouldn't pay it, would you? And it's the same with investigators and cameras. But with surveillance, one of the main things, and the most importantly, the first thing is the pre-surveillance inquiries. We get them all the time, you know, oh, can you follow this man? Have you got a photograph of him? Well, we don't think our client's got a photograph of them. Well, he works with them, doesn't he? Has he got an ID card? Well, yeah, but that's 5 years old. Fine, let's have a copy of the ID card. Or is my husband having an affair, or my wife having an affair? Well, you must have some sort of photo of them. So I swear to God, if you stand outside an office block, and you watch, or a train station, and you're watching hundreds of people come up, it's difficult enough to get the right person when you've got a photograph of them, let alone without. So that's how you do it. So we've got all these hidden cameras and all these things, but most surveillance firms, if they're honest, I'll tell you it's one of these we get our best results with. But say the pre-surveillance inquiries are the most important. And records, I mean, there's firms out there that say, oh, our ex-employees are ex-SAS, or ex-special services they tend to go. Well, we know some of these. One of them uses a local minicab driver, and this guy's been all over the press, you know, local press. What a good job he did on, you know, oh, it's a noisy neighbour problem, you know, but no, that's an extreme. And he's, we used special services on it. No, it didn't. It was a minicab driver, because the guy came to us for a job afterwards and had all the press clippings and went, well, you know, you pay slightly more than the others because we want the better staff, and here's what I did. But it was a minicab driver in the right place at the right time. So don't be fooled by, you know, the claims of where the staff were for, yeah? And that's about it, really. If you want a quote for a surveillance job, please call us. Our guys tend to be the ones that have trained the others up. I mean, I'm 50, and a lot of our chaps are the same age as me, and they've trained, like the police. The guy, an ex-policeman works for us, well, he was in charge of surveillance, so he knows it backwards. He's not some bod. And the other thing is, there's lots of people who come out of the army, for example, and I have no arguments with the army. They do a great job, you know. Help for Heroes, fantastic. We support it. But they come out and they go on a 2-week or a 1-week surveillance course. I mean, the worst I've ever seen is a surveillance course, but a correspondence surveillance course. And they're now out saying we can undertake surveillance. The worst thing can ever happen to you, be you a solicitor, an insurer, or a private individual, or business people. We do lots of business cases, you know. Is this guy off work really? You know, anything. It's endless what we get asked. But whatever the surveillance case, the surveillance instruction you give us, or someone else, the one thing you don't want is to get caught. The moment that person gets caught, whatever you are, whoever you are, that changes your game plan. That can be a disaster for you. So be very careful who you instruct. So my name's Gary. You've got the button on the web page or website. Give us a call, send us an email. We're 24 hours a day answer service. If it's urgent, we get instructed by solicitors on a Sunday on a regular basis. I didn't know solicitors worked on a Sunday, but they do. So I hope this has been of help to you, but be very careful who you choose and ask them what their free surveillance inquiries will consist of. And if they're not going to go to visit the address first, well, again, don't use them. I hope this has been of use to you, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.